What's going on? Matt Harold with Empowered Athletes. Today talking about the foot ladder, the agility ladder, whichever you prefer to call it, and how it relates to the soccer player. So some positives for the foot ladder. A great tool for coordination, especially at the younger ages. Placing the feet in the right spots, remembering the pattern, continuing to remember the pattern, because a lot of kids will give up as the ladder progresses or as they get towards the end of it. So in terms of developing mental staying power, I do like it. I like to see them get challenged. A lot of kids just give up at the end, and it's a good way to encourage them. Hey, come on, we don't give up. So great for younger athletes to develop basic coordination. Great for low-level plyometrics. It's kind of like advanced hopscotch. You know, you're jumping and bounding in different areas, and when you go onto one leg, it's actually a decent stimulus for the lower limb, because we want to be nice and springy. We don't want to be collapsing. That'd be the equivalent of driving around with flat tires. If the hips and glutes are the strong engine or powerful engine, and the lower limb, all right, got to be nice and springy, like jump rope. People that aren't going to jump, or that don't have springy, strong ankles and calves, they'll have a hard time jump roping. Same thing. And that can be translated too into sprinting. You might be real strong, but if you're giving out and the heel's hitting the ground when the foot strikes, you're losing out on the power of the hips. So just an analogy I picked up from Kelly Baggett, great strength coach. So yeah, from developing a springy lower limb standpoint, I like the foot ladder. It's good for that. Coming back from an injury, it's great. There's a lot of progressions. I'll show you a basic one on an in and out. So let's say you're coming back from an injury, starting with stability, 2 in, 2 out. Then you take away a pause, so, and then you go to no pause. Kicking those feet up, feet up, feet up, feet up. And the same thing can be done on one leg. Starting with pause, showing good balance, good position, and then you start getting rid of the pauses. And that can be done on any kind of pattern. So, coming back from an injury, low-level plyometrics or jump training, the foot ladder is great. Where I think it fails, oh no, one more benefit is it is fun. It does get the nervous system fired up, because anytime you're trying to move a limb, legs, arms as quick as you can, your nervous system is responsible for recruiting the muscles to contract and relax quickly. So before a game or before training, it's a great way to kind of wake people up, especially because rarely are we isolated doing the ladder, especially on a soccer team. There's someone to your right, someone to your left, either chasing you or you're trying to chase. People love to show how quick they can move their feet, and I really like that going into a game or practice. So those are some benefits. Like I said, a lot to be gained from doing the ladder, but the reason why I'm making this video is because it falls short in a lot of categories. People think that it's called the agility ladder, so it must be making them more agile. But if you ask me, Matt, what is your definition of agility? I would say the ability to respond to stimulus in a chaotic environment and move my body through different positions efficiently and quickly in space. And here in the ladder, I'll do one pattern, and watch how little my actual body moves, but my feet are moving fast. All right, so I didn't really move that far or that fast, but my feet were moving fast. In agility, the way it relates to, say, defending or soccer, let's say I'm defending someone, they make a move, I have to stay with them. Not just my feet. My feet, yeah, they'll hit the right positions, which is what the ladder's good for, but do I have the power, the explosiveness, the coordination to create force in those postures? Can I read it with my mind and my eyes and be able to do that? The agility, it's usually a predetermined pattern. So it just won't bridge the gap between the chaotic environment of sport and the predictable environment of the ladder, and the ranges of motion I reach. I'm always safe in the ladder, feet are under the hips. In soccer, maybe I lunge for a tackle, then the guy's going this way, the ball, I go up for a header, I get bumped, the ball's bouncing behind me, it's 360 degrees, you're getting out of balance, and like, just how good are you at coming out of those positions into new positions and moving your body quickly? So there's a force and strength component, a power component that is lacking, a predictability component that is lacking, and I think you understand after all that explanation what I'm talking about. So another an example of something that would bridge the gap would be a tag game, or with the ball, one side attacks and one defends, 1v1 penetrating the line, and I'm trying to stop you. Just as another way to train agility as it relates to soccer. Sprinting definitely does not improve sprinting that much. If you watch the posture of top speed sprinting, the hip is extremely flexed. Then I extend out, stimulating or recruiting a lot of hamstring. And then the glutes have to work under extreme loads, and you just don't get that at the ladder. There's not a whole lot of hip action going on. So just be aware that it will not improve your top speed sprinting. Or acceleration. Accelerating from a track and field standpoint, I'm here. Look at this posture that I'm going to reach, even on the first step. Boom. All right? Tons of hip recruited there. Tons of hip. I'll do one more. Okay, you see that full hip extension, and you just don't get that on the ladder. Everything's in tight. The hips rarely extend all the way up. And unless you create a drill, here, I'll give you one here. So maybe it's a maximal jump on one leg, landing for stability, maximal jump, landing for stability, something where you're really going for height. Or here's another one for lateral power. Maybe we're skipping stairs, spaces as far as you can, and showing stability. And you can work those both ways. That's another example of one where you're really working some power now. But rarely do I see coaches doing that. Usually it's the fun, quick feet stuff. So now you can understand how to take the ladder, make it more applicable to true sport agility, soccer agility. Knowing it doesn't improve speed, it also won't prepare you in a warm-up for speed. So make sure you're either sprinting out of the ladder, or if you go just from the ladder, you do some warm-up strides before you play a game, just to get the hamstrings, hip flexors more involved, because you don't want to go straight from this into full sprints. I've seen some injuries happen that way. So let's see, what else? I think that's it. You guys understand, ladder's a great tool. Injury prevention, coordination, introduction to plyos, getting that lower limb nice and strong and springy, ready for the hips to be able to use what you're training them for in, say, the weight room, getting more explosive and transferring force onto the field. Thank you for watching. Until next time.